Well, spring has sprung, and a return of leaves to the trees brings flocking to the beach for Central Florida. For most, it's the Atlantic Ocean that brings them to the Florida coast, but for those in racing, it can only mean one thing in the city of Daytona, and that's a return to the high banks. A season of racing will kick off in just a couple of weeks, but tonight it's a quick 45-lap sprint, the area preseason shootout with past winners and pole sitters going for glory in the Florida sun. Welcome to Sim TV, welcome to the Sunshine State, and welcome to the world's center of racing. Hi everybody, I'm Kyle Hire. I'll be joined by Vinny Dacuna here in just a couple minutes. He's running a little bit behind tonight, but as we get into our 45-lap event tonight, 14 drivers going for glory, this time in the brand new released Generation 4 NASCAR Cup car. So we're going to go high horsepower here, but with restrictor plates on the banking here. Should be a lot of fun as we get into our 45-lap event here tonight. We're also, as you see, the new Daytona. We're actually on the old version of Daytona tonight, an extra challenge. We're throwing it back a long ways, back to about 2008 for this event tonight. So it should be a fun one. Here's a good look at the racetrack. Of course, exciting to be back here on Sim TV for the start of a new season here in just a couple of weeks. But as the preseason shootout, it's coming. It's time. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. So, cars on track, practicing right now. They'll get into qualifying here in a couple of minutes. But we'll head down to the racetrack and cover practice here, the tail end of it here, before we get into our event this evening. Daytona Beach, Florida, population just about 70,000 people. This track was built as configured in 1959. Of course, this track, 2.5 miles in length, 31 degrees of banking on either end, 4 corners. Of course, with that famous tri-oval layout. Vinny Dacuna joins me now. Vinny, and welcome back to area, this time for the preseason shootout. 45 laps with the Gen 4 Cup car at the old Daytona. We're going to go bouncing on the banking tonight.
I was going to say, it felt like it was Daytona on my way back here so I can get to the broadcast in time. Yeah, this is a very nostalgic sight, just watching these Gen 4, officially now Gen 4 Cup cars rocking around here. 700 plus horsepower to the wheels, to the engine. And these guys screaming down the back straightaway. And like you mentioned, too, on the old bumpy version of Daytona before was recently repaved.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one tonight. Pretty short race, 45 laps, but a pretty small field. Also, 14 drivers, Vinny, and that means that pack racing-wise, if you get separated, you don't have anybody to come help you. And this is a preseason non-points event, and that means that you're probably not going to get a lot of people working together. This is just go for the glory, winners and past pole sitters.
Yeah, basically just go for the glory, right? There's no points racing tonight, no good point stake, because there are no points awarded. It's all about glory, all about winning. So you can bet that guys are not going to be forming alliances or friendships here. It's going to be all about being near the front as much as possible, especially, like you mentioned, a relatively short race, only 45 laps.
Yeah, so Justin Anasogak at the top of the board right now. Ryan Hart's in the number 3. We've seen him up front before, Alex Weaver. David Weishart is back. It's the Matco Tools car you see in the shot there. Brandon 6 is back. That's the number 66 machine, the black car with the white numbers. I've noticed that because this car is new, it's not new, but it's new to have it again, that a lot of drivers haven't figured out the paint scheme thing. This actually took me a minute to figure out on Trading Paints. It's not a separate vehicle, Finian. There's a checkbox to select, and so I think that's going to catch some people out here with this particular car. One guy it did not catch out is Alan Elwood, a very sparkly-looking Simrap Market car. They're our replay partner again this season, and there is Alan Elwood with the Simrap Market logo and livery looking as sharp as ever.
Yeah, really, it is an awesome looking livery. Walking through the trial, currently 8th in the time sheets. Not that the time sheets really matter here at Daytona.
You don't
Making
say.
his way around to be. Yeah, you don't say, indeed.
So previewing now, again, this graphics package is not quite in its completed state just yet. Should be for the season opener here at Daytona in a couple weeks' time. But in a progress state, obviously this is stylized heavily for the style of this event. But I think this looks good, fitting a little bit of an adjustment, a change, new fonts and things, and there'll be some more shiny things coming with it when we get into the season a little bit later on. But should be some good fun. We should have Hunter Sleppy back with us and Eric Wineland on select nights as well this season. So good to have a broadcast booth back, ready to go ripping here in just a little while. Travis Beckner is also here. He's already celebrating down there in the grass here at Daytona International Speedway. Except is that turn 1 or turn 3? I think that's turn 1.
It's going to be tri-oval, maybe. Oh, exit.
Exit of the tri-oval. Yep.
Gotcha. Right before turn 1.
Oh. Doing burnouts, just celebrating in advance. Brandon Bowie is back in the number 23, right ahead of Brandon 6 in that number 30, or excuse me, the number 66 car. The Velocita number 23 car heading down the back straightaway. And qualifying probably as pointless as practice when it comes to Daytona, Finian. But this is different. I mean, think about every time we come here to Daytona, other than this event, we run the new version of Daytona, and the strategy there is run high lap 1, run low lap 2. I'm not really sure how much it matters qualifying here because it's so hard to keep the car in any given line. You're just kind of at the whim of where the car wants you to go.
Yeah, I was going to say that the bumps really, I think they make it to a point where it's not really worth running high to build that speed because there are quite a few bumps up there on the top side of the track, not just on the bottom, so that's going to kill your momentum and speed. So I think it might just be the game plan to run bottom or the middle lane around and then run the bottom second lap, but like you said, I really don't think it's going to matter, especially with only 14 guys. If it was a field of 40 cars, yeah, I would say qualifying would matter quite a bit. Only 14 guys on track, though. You're going to be into the front within a few laps. The interesting thing will be to see, with this car being recently updated and the changes that's been made to it, physics-wise, how it's going to race in a pack, and also how it's going to race in a pack at this particular version of the track.
Oh, we've got the Wicker Bill, we've got the Valence, we've got all the good stuff. I think this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. I do think we're going to see some aggression because the worst you can do is 14th best, so I think we're going to see drivers get right up on that wheel and go for it here. 45 laps, it's going to be under a 45-minute race, probably closer to a half hour, so that's a pretty short amount of time. That means you're going to have to get going pretty quick. You don't really have a lot of time to drift back and move around, but you don't have to pass that many cars either, so we'll see how aggressive drivers get in this process shortly because qualifying is about to get underway as the last couple drivers finish up their practice session. We'll head down to the racetrack here and kick off our 10-minute practice session. Excuse me, qualifying session. A little bit of rusty. It's been a while since we've seen an oval actually on SimTV since the conclusion of the last season.
I don't know what an oval is. What does it explain?
It's like a road course, but it only goes one direction.
Well, road courses only go one direction. They turn one direction, I guess is the better way to phrase that.
Dang it. Cars on track now for qualifying. Here is James Scioli, the Roasted Gems Coffee number 7. He's back up and rolling here. Some new partners and people along this season as well. The new logo rotator at the top right of the screen. Happy with how that element turned out. I think that looks really, really good. HelloFresh on board this season. The area shop also is there as well as the Florida Estate Builders. You might have known them as Lodgebox before. Similar colors, different logo. And, of course, SimWrapMarket.com on board with us, Finian. So some branding changes for everybody this time around.
I was going to say, really looking forward to some branding changes next week. You get all the new paint schemes, all the new team affiliations, drivers switching teams and series, in fact, too, over the off-season. That'll be nice to see all the new liveries out on track as we watch the 7. Ready to start qualifying, one of the first guys out there.
Across the start-finish line to kick off his first lap. And let's see how this will pan out. Again, the ovals in iRacing are split into 2 sectors, one at the back straightaway and one at the front straightaway. And you see him on the bottom of the racetrack working the wheel here. We'll see what his lap time is at the halfway point, and then again when he comes across the stripe. And as he trips the marker on the backstretch here, should be about a 24.614 into turn 3.
You can see the car bumping up and down and even straddling the line as well, and that's really going to cost him just a little bit of momentum. Not a whole lot, but just enough where he could be overtaken by some people. And that's going to be the big thing, too. I think when the cars get shoved down onto that yellow line when they're in the slipstream, speaking of which, it's going to go down there through the tri-oval.
24.4 for Brendan Bowie at the halfway point there on his first lap. Beckner to the top of the board, Scioli second, Brad Slaughter Jr., Brendan 6, Ryan Hartz, and Sogak and Cogswell are also on track here. And
Travis Beckner leading in his Toyota Corolla.
Oh boy, I have to see this. Wow, that is something. That is...
Also of note that Chevy has decided it's entering 3 different versions of their cars.
I like this. This Corolla is actually kind of
cool. It's
not
bad. It actually looks pretty sharp.
I think it looks pretty good. The back, not so much. The front, I'm digging. So Beckner will woe it on down. Practicing a pit lane entry. He'll have to make, I think, at least one stop tonight, right? So
I would think so. I'd be surprised if these things can have that much fuel mileage to go 45 laps on a tank, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Brad Slaughter looks like he's coming to a stop here. Has not put down a time. I think he's going to reset, get back going again. There is Justin Anasogak in the 88 on a flying lap.
One word on the back, duck. And
with Lucky Duck?
Well, if I had to
is that
guess.
what that's referencing to?
If I had to guess, wouldn't be surprising probably to learn that.
Either that or just wanted to have a rubber ducky on the hood. Could be either or, honestly.
See how it pans out for him. Alan Elwood's, I thought he was on track, but he is just sitting in pit lane awaiting the green flag as Brandon Six heads down the back straightaway, currently scored 4th here in qualifying. And up on the banking he will go.
Ryan Hartz is currently sitting on pole in his Chevy Camaro. Brandon Six in the unknown car.
Out of turn 4, here comes Six, back down to pit lane. He's already run his, well, I thought it was actually his 2nd lap, but he will bail out on it. Here comes Brad Slaughter Jr., the number 8, across the line for his 1st lap. He has not yet started a flying lap, so now he has. And Alan Elwood's up to speed as well.
I was going to say, actually, looking at Brandon Six bailing down a pit lane, might be a good decision for these guys. Just get at least one practice run, getting these cars worn down in case there is a green flag pit stop. Because you and me, I think, can both agree we're probably going to have to see one pit stop. May come under caution, but you never know, especially with so few guys on the track. There's only so many cars you can wreck.
Well, here's another rule change for this season. 1 qualifying lap, except for road courses and short tracks. So this is your one go. Here comes Brad Slaughter Jr. out of turn 4, bouncing and bumping on the banking. Cross the line for Slaughter. We'll see where it slots him. It is a 48.788. That's going to be good enough only for 7th, and he's in the wall there past the start-finish line. Here comes Elwood starting his flying lap.
I was going to say, Slaughter was flirting with the grass there, clipped a little bit of it, but not enough to trigger a 1X, so the lap will stand. But like you mentioned, not the fastest, down in 7th. Elwood on the banking in his Dodge, number 10. Bouncing through the bankings now. Alex Weaver, he was bound to start a lap. He's bailed out of, I think, 1 or 2 laps in that 62 Subway machine.
Has yet to make it to the stripe to start a flying lap, so he's able to go back and go again. Elwood bringing, is that the Stratus back?
I think it's the Intrepid, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like the Intrepid, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Love the Simrat Market metallic blue on that car as he comes out of 4. Like the banner on that car as well. Looks good.
Yeah.
And across the stripe for Elwood. 48.692. Good enough for, that's good enough for 3rd. As
Nice.
Douglas Newbegin heads down the back straightaway, and he's coming around to finish his first and only lap.
Right in the middle lane, and then going to cut down a little bit low just to give a little bit of an arc to the corner. See if it's going to be worth anything in the 71. Bouncing, look at 3 and 4. Especially so bumpy. Yeah, the car gets thrown into the banking, quite literally. And then now down below the yellow line through the tri-oval will be fast enough.
48.701. It's good enough for, I think, 5th. As Beckner had a 48.693, and Alex Weaver finally took the green. He's another driver in one of the Camaros. That looks like a lot like the late model, actually.
I was gonna say I think it's based off the one from the late model, but yeah. So we got two Chevy Camaros, some Chevy Monte Carlo SSs, and some Impala SSs. So 3 different Chevys. Make your pick.
Cameron Hearn was also supposed to join us tonight, but had an internet issue, so he will not make it, unfortunately. As here comes Weaver across the stripe. Eric Wineland is on the racetrack now. And Weaver across the stripe. 48.857, 856. Good enough for P10.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Look at that. Eric Weiland in the number 21 Air Force 4 Taurus.
That's a real throwback. Now, I like going back to these cars despite the lack of cohesiveness across the field in terms of make, models, and manufacturers. It is cool, though, to relive some of the old paint schemes from back in the day when NASCAR was at its peak.
I was going to say, what is also really nice is how relatively generic the Gen 4 body is. I mean, obviously with models like the Dodge Charger, they have a much more different, and the Fusion had a much more different nose, but you can still kind of make it work. Especially you definitely can't do that with the Gen 6 and 7 because with the body ines, it's just way too manufacturer specific.
You can shove some things on there that kind of will work in certain cases, but certainly it's not always going to work out in your favor.
That's a beautiful shot.
A rare one, too. That'll be the only time I nail that all night. I cut away like Fox Sports there. It's missing the shot down the back straightaway. Into turn 3, though, this is going to be the last driver to get a time. Jake Nichols is here, so is Weishart. Neither will get a lap in qualifying. They'll start tail of the field. And I really think
sporting Ford branding. Can you get that Ford to the top?
We'll see. I really do think that they should stick with this color scheme all season long, though. This kind of pink and purple and orange, I'm on board. Wineland of 48.728. That will put him P7, and that will conclude our qualifying run here. And we'll start this race with 14 drivers here in just a moment's time. 45 laps going up on the board as Wineland cuts off the engine and they breeze in the Sunshine State air. He will roll down the back straightaway.
I'm not the only one that does this, right? When they qualify.
I love doing this. Anytime I can shut my engine off for whatever reason, it feels right.
I do it every time for the Indy 500 qualifying after that fourth lap. Just cruise it all the way around.
Area preseason shootout from Daytona about to get underway. 45 laps in the NASCAR Gen 4 Cup car. Thanks for joining us here on Sim TV. We'll have the full season of area action coming up for you in just a couple weeks' time. I'm headed off to Carolina Motorsports Park tomorrow morning. Kick off the Grid Life season as well, so that'll be a fun event down there for me. And we'll be back with more coverage of this as it goes. But busy week in Sim TV Streamland. Tomorrow we've got the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League, also a non-points fun event for them. Suzuka with GT3 cars. And then on Thursday, the Porsche Esports Sprint Challenge Canada. Almost accidentally pushed this live stream out on Porsche's Twitch channel. Made sure I didn't make that mistake. It was very close. But they'll be on Thursday, twitch.tv/Porsche.
That would be something. Imagine screaming NASCAR on Porsche Canada's Twitch.
I was nervous because I hit the button and I was like, oh no, and canceled it. So I think I'm good, but it was closer than I would have liked it to be. All right, let's head down to the starting grid and get things kicked off here with your starting lineup. It is a fun one here this season. Justin Ennis-Sogak's going to kick things off on the front row in the number 88, alongside Reinhardt's in the number 3, Finian.
And moving on back to row number 2, it's going to be Alan Elwood in the number 10 in third. Next to him, Travis Beckner in the 20th, going to be lined up in 4th place.
Row 3, it's Douglas Newbeging in the number 71. Brandon Bowie rolls off 6th in the 23.
Back in row number 4, it's going to be Eric Wineland in the 21 machine. Next to him, Brandon 6 is going to be lined up in the 66th in 8th place.
9th place is Jonathan Cogswell in the 27, and Brad Slaughter Jr. starts 10th in the number 8.
Back at 11 is going to be Alex Weaver in the 62, joined by James Scioli in the number 7 in 12th place.
And the last row is Jake Nichols and David Weishart. They did not qualify. They will start from the rear. Only 7 rows of cars to pass, so they should be in good shape regardless. Well, looking down at Daytona International Speedway, it is, we walked over the track facts already earlier, Finian, but just to recap, 70,000 people in Daytona Beach, Florida. Of course, this racetrack, known for being one of the oldest on the NASCAR calendar, opened in 1959. Of course, 2.5 miles, 4 corners, and 31 degrees of banking. A really interesting racetrack. The one that we're running tonight with that extra little bumps and bruises that the track no longer has. And led down to the racetrack now. Cars about to roll. 14 drivers, and this is a winner-take-all. The only goal tonight is to win. No one's ever going to remember who finished second in this race, so don't finish second.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just an all-out brawl for these guys for 45 laps. Winner takes all. Fastest man wins. I think what I'm curious to see is how long these guys are going to be willing to work together. Are they going to try to work together a little bit more just to tick off the laps? Or are they just going to go aggressive from the get-go for this 45 laps? Because again, like we said, nothing matters. So what is the game plan then if nothing matters?
Game plan. We're going. Throttle to the firewall, and we're going to win. And whether I win on lap 1 or lap 45, it doesn't matter. Get that thing up front and ride it out, baby.
I mean, well, you can't win the race. That doesn't matter if you crash out.
Sure can, man. Get it up there. Lead that race. No one wants to watch someone run second all day.
Sure, because according to NASCAR, everything's fine. like what we're seeing.
I like what I'm seeing. Cars on the racetrack going back oval racing for the first time in a while here on SimTV. It is now time to kick off the 2023 area season for real. We finished our 2022 season in the beginning of this year, but time to rack them up, stack them up, and go it again in 2023. And a Sogak on pole. Ryan Hart's on the outside in that number 3. Then it's Allen Elwood, Beckner, Newbegin, Bowie, Wineland, 6, Cogswell, Slaughter Jr., Weaver, Scioli, Nichols, and Weishart in the area preseason shootout. Thanks for joining us here on SimTV. Make sure to subscribe. Live timing and scoring is available at simtvbroadcasting.com. Just go to the live timing section if you'd like to follow along. It is now time for the pace car to make the hard left onto pit lane, kicking the season off the right way. Let's hear some engines roar in Central Florida. Green flag flies and we're racing at Daytona. Lap 1 complete, past the starter stand, and already heading towards turn number 1 again. In anger, Ryan Hartz leads the way. Beckner in the 28 up to the outside. He's got Bowie behind him in the 23. The top side getting some early momentum, Finney.
I was going to say, they're really benefiting from that run out of the corner. I have a dirty feeling that the bottom
of trouble. The 3 car
immediately
spins onto the back straightaway, and everybody's in it on lap 2.
4 different cars involved after pretty much 3 separate wrecks.
No caution. We're still green. We'll stay rolling.
Well, this is really classic. Feel a little spread out.
3 cars on the lead lap. Let's have a look and see what happened here. We got to go back a little bit farther to catch it. It happened right up front. The 3 car was the first car I saw turned around. You see Anna Sogak disappear there for a moment. The 3 gets a shove from the 28, turns the 88 around, the 23 gets clobbered and also caught out. That was Cogswell there in the mix, but they grind to a halt on the back straightaway. They're back rolling now, and back up front, it's a pack of 5.
As I say, half the field, over half the field taken out early on. And hearing that there is going to be no yellow.
All right, we're still rolling then, and Beckner, I think, learned something really important there, is that this is not the Gen 6 or Gen 7 Cup car. You cannot push, especially if you've got any sideways component to that movement, because your bumper is just going to submarine under the car in front of you. You just have to, I mean, if you line up perfectly, you might be able to give him a little bit of a push, but Elwood dives to the bottom. He's going for the lead here at Daytona.
And the caution finally being thrown out.
And it appears for the prior accident, I didn't see any more.
And I like the admin saying, yeah, we let you guys race back to the stripe.
We're really throwing it back today, huh? Go back and look at it again.
But yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be something that these guys have got to beat out of their brains, because after the last 3 generations of car, you're able to easily bump draft without any issue in the world. But here, you just pick up the guy from behind, pick up the guy in front of you. You're going to see right here, Beckner coming off of turn 2, cups up. You see him scoop the 3, and around he goes into the 88.
Yeah, and then the 23, Bowie just kind of got caught up in the mix, and right there, tags. Was that the 21 of Wineland, actually, that got tagged there at the tail end of it. He went for kind of a wild ride. Here's what he saw. Ooh, the 23 got jacked up airborne, and so did Eric Wineland. Watch the 66 here get underneath the 23. Boom, just picks the rear tires up off the ground. If there's
completely off the ground.
There is not a better example. Then same thing there with whoever was behind Wineland.
That was Cogswell.
Okay, so Cogswell is going to get a face full of the 21, and here's what he saw inside the car. Join the Air Force.
I was going to say Air Force. He went airborne for a little bit there.
Just the rear of the car, though. Front end of the car looks to look like it was crawling through some foxholes or something. Marine. Well, we got cars submarining. We got the Navy in there.
Speaking of the Air Force car, he was joking in the race server about, he was like, Finian, I know you can hear me. I'm available for in-race interview. So let's do that right now. Mr. Eric Wineland in the number 21 machine. How's it going?
Heyo. How we doing, gentlemen?
We're doing great. We saw your Air Force car almost become a part of the Air Force fleet there for a moment. Rear tires picked up clear off the ground. How's the car feel?
Well, we're okay, surprisingly. We just took a wild ride through the grass. I want to thank whoever decided to try to help me lift off right there, because that was a rather fun experience. I mean, okay, we got 35 seconds of optional damage to fix from our jack up and ride through the grass. So, I mean, we'll get it all fixed here. We'll go back out, have a good time. I mean, it's an exhibition race. We took a driver's vote to get a yellow right there, and everybody agreed, so that was pretty cool. And I'm excited for the start of season 4 here in area with you guys here at SimTV and all the guys that helped put the show on, like Jacob Bell and our admin team.
Oh, wait, hold on. You got all the drivers to agree on something?
Yeah, there was no across the radio channel whenever race control said, do we want a yellow? So considering nobody said no, I mean, I don't know if we all agreed. James Scioli wanted to wait till he got the lead. I will say that. So, and it looks like he got the lead off pit road anyway. So I think it worked out in his favor regardless.
Well, Eric, best of luck to you. And it looks like you're back rolling. So we'll see how things pan out for you. We'll talk to you later.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Finney. And if you guys need a pit report tonight, let me know.
All right. Sounds good. We're also going to grab real quick James Scioli, who leads this race. And we were just talking with Eric Wineland, James, about the drivers all seem to agree on throwing a caution. But it sounded like you wanted to wait till you got the lead, and I don't blame you. Here you are out front. Tell us how things are going so far.
Yeah, I had to end up getting it on pit road. Jacob didn't want to wait for me, so. But, yeah, we're just here for a good time, want to put on a good show, so getting split up and having a 5-car breakaway 2 laps in would be less than ideal, so glad to get us all back together. I don't know why we were wrecking so early, but, you know, it is what it is, so hopefully we can just keep it clean and lead the rest of them from here on out.
All right. Well, best luck to you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so fields re-racking and restacking going again here shortly, and Scioli will lead over Brad Slaughter Jr., who's in the outside lane. Started in 10th. He's up to P1 now. And liking the Celsius branding on this car. Looks good. Kind of fits the kind of the Miami vibe that we got going on with the graphics and everything tonight.
I'm going to say this also does look like a more classic car, like what you would actually see out there running on the track around this time period. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got that vibe.
Also, the old Monte Carlo taillights on the back.
Alex Weaver's car looks pretty solid as well. This car in particular, Cogswell's got a nice spec map applied to it. Roasted Gems coffee on the hood and side. Looks like something that would come out of like KHI or something in 2007 Nationwide Series or whatever that was called at the time.
Bush, I think 20,000. I think that would be Bush.
Bush was Nationwide in 08, I think. This track is circa 08, so I guess I had the right idea in mind. So packed up, paired up, going again. Lap number 7 of 45. We'll be coming to lap number 8. And the laps are going to tick away pretty quickly here, provided we go green a little longer. But I think the drivers learned pretty quick that pushing and shoving with these bumpers. And again, you talked about adjusting to the car. This is not the same car as the ARCA car. It is different.
No.
And it has different characteristics, and they're going to learn that the hard way, I think. Here we go. Back under green from Daytona for the area preseason shootout. Makes a good noise, too.
Yeah, and I was going to say, the fact that they're even reworking on the newer car with newer sounds, I can't wait for that. But these already sound really, really amazing. Looking at Alan Elwood riding on board. You see almost a door-to-door action with Brent Slaughter Jr. and James Scully between turns 1 and 2.
There's just so much side-to-side movement. These cars move around so much. Elwood's going to go middle 3 wide. He wants to go places. Cogswell shoving the 8. Here comes the 10 up the middle, 3 wide for a second. And he's going to give the 8 a shove here off into turn 3. The 8 comes down to protect, but has to bail. Scioli fits the gap in the bottom, and the 27 hung out to dry.
I was curious if we were going to see the old classic sucker hole come back there for a second, but Elwood was able to make the gap work. Now working to the outside, got a huge head full of steam. Look at the run that he's got on Slaughter.
Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. 190 miles an hour past the stripe. Elwood takes the advantage, and now Weishart in the 29 car making his way up into the mix. Started dead last. He's up to the highest he's been all night, P2.
Yeah, I was curious what I was going to say before they were wrecking last time on lap number 2 was the runs out of the corner. I feel like we're going to see the top lane be a little bit better. I think the guys on the bottom, there's so many bumps on that bottom lane. It looks like it's hard for the inside lane to get going, at least with a strong run, but here they come back in turn 3.
Wow, Slaughter with a big run to the bottom. He's going to take the advantage back. He's actually clear of Elwood. I wonder if he'll go high or stay low. Looks like he's got Scioli following him through. He's going to move to the middle and get sucker hold again. Everyone's relearning how to plate race here, Finney, and this is fun.
This is really fun. Again, completely different characteristics compared to the last several generations of car, and then with the updates, with the more power added, it changes quite a bit. So this is a big learning experience for everyone on track. No one really knows exactly the best way to race these things, so you're just seeing a lot of experimentation right now.
Yeah, again, this is just a kind of racing that we haven't had to do in a while. Look at the 29 of Weishart giving the 10 a shove down the back straightaway. Here comes Cogswell back into the mix, and now Eric Wineland. Wasn't he crashed 10 minutes ago? Here he comes up to third place.
Wasting no time to get that car near the front, sitting on the inside and behind Brad Slaughter with Elwood leading the outside lane. See him manhandling this car through the turns.
Now you see the valence get 3, 4, 5 inches off the ground.
Yeah, Brad Slaughter jumping to the top side. Eric Wineland now free on the bottom to do as he would like.
Oh, come on, get the shot. There we go. Oh, okay, now we're behind the fence, but we were close. I knew I was only going to get that once tonight. Here comes Slaughter Jr. back on the high side with help from Elwood in the number 10. And who's that lonely purple car there up on the high side? That's Jake Nichols in the 73. Golden Flare Racing.
And these guys are ripping around here. So these guys are hitting 200 miles an hour in the corners.
That's wild to me. 195 on corner exit. Look at this scrap up ahead. 11 laps complete. We're basically a quarter of the way through this race already. That's how fast it's going to go. 27 minutes from here to the checkered if this race goes green.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, everyone 200 and 199 off into turn 1. I forgot how fast these things used to go.
Cars with power. Who's the thought? Look at the 8. Tried to block the bottom. Wineland said nope. Now bottom 3 wide, and the 8 car's going backwards.
And those type of moves are 10 times more terrifying with the way these cars are bumping off the corner. They look like they're driving out of control, which they honestly kind of are.
Oh, the 27's in the wall.
Oh, speaking of which.
Cogswell bounced off it, gathered it back up, but you see movement side to side. You know, in the new Cup cars on the new banking, you can, be pretty accurate within 3 or 4 inches. Here, you got to be 3 or 4 feet of margin because you're bouncing around so much. And look at the 8 back middle here.
Great stuff by these guys. They're not holding back any punches. They're absolutely going at it. Slaughter now on the bottom, but doesn't have a whole lot of help, at least at the moment. There, speaking of which, there's James Scioli jumping to the bottom lane to help him out.
Wineland back to 5th. Look at the run he's got. Look at the huge run to the bottom. He's going to fling it to the inside, but he hits that wall of air, and he can't quite get to the 8, but the 8 comes to block. Slaughter Jr. back to the bottom in turn 3.
Oh, man, James Scioli got squeezed out there. Just had enough room to squeeze out in behind the 21.
Out of turn 4, Slaughter Jr. leads. Elwood comes to side draft. Now here's a thing that I hadn't really considered, is the newer drafting, the newer style of drafting has caused engineers and drivers to learn about things like the side draft. I don't recall the side draft being an enormous deal back in the mid-2000s. So with that new knowledge, but the old equipment and old technology, I think we're going to see even more different racing than we were expecting to see.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to talk about the side draft earlier, because you never saw that kind of thing happen around this era of car, and just because, like you said, no one really thought about it, no one really considered it. I think if anything, they thought it would have been too aggressive. No one would be willing to get that close to the quarter panel of another car. You would almost wreck the guy, but I mean, we've seen these guys been able to do that pretty well in the newer cars. Here, it might be a lot harder to do that with the bumps. You might risk end up turning someone, but later in the race could help you quite a bit, and it's definitely helping some guys get great runs here.
On the straightaways, I think you can get away with it. Look at Elwood go up to the high side. He's got help from the 29 of Weishart, who has not yet tasted the lead, but he has been right in behind that outside car a handful of times, almost up to the top. And now the 7 has also slid up to the outside lane.
And we're seeing the pack really start to form back up. There's a little bit of separation after the first few laps. So now all the columns have reformed. So I think I'm curious to see if we're going to see a lot more guys dropping back, building up runs here now that they're all stacked up together. And especially a third lane forming now, because now you can really get a sucker hole developed in the middle.
Brad Slaughter, wow, look at us slipping and sliding from the 62 of Alex Weaver all over the place. And Elwood's got a big run now, but where do you go? Already on the outside, already has help, just needs a little bit more momentum here. Lap 15 complete.
That's another thing we're talking about sliding around. Are tires going to be a concern?
Oh, I think, everyone came on down and took them last time, did they not? No, not everybody did. A couple drivers did, but some just took fuel only and are probably planning on running those to the end.
Because I can see these guys are sliding around the surface. It's old, it's abrasive, it's bumpy. And these tires weren't the best back then either, so I'm curious to see what these guys are considering as far as that, if that's going to even get worse. I would think it would get a little bit worse, and that may be something they have to keep in the back of their minds as this race goes on.
23 car is leading a second pack. Brendan Bowie's got Newbegin, 6, Hartz and Beckner back there. I wonder if they're waiting for this front group to make a mistake and cause the collision and then drive through and pick up the pieces. I don't hate that strategy, but it's also an on-points race. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it was me, I would just be running in the front pack all race long. Really no point not to, but I guess they're thinking bigger prize. They want to actually make sure they win this thing. They want to hang out and stay out of any carnage.
The 8 car, Slaughter Jr., has been the most aggressive of anybody, and I think that might pay off. He's been aggressive in defense, but not on offense, and I think in the aggressive defense here is going to be pretty effective because no one's going to drive through you. No one's going to just pick your tires up off the ground at this stage. They've learned that lesson, but you've got the advantage that everyone wants to lift to prevent that contact. So you can be pretty aggressive in your blocks, knowing that everyone behind you has to lift.
Some flash for just a split second there. Came back immediately back onto the track. Alan Elwood trying to build up that run on the top. So he's come on the top, getting a really good run after the first few laps, and now it's kind of equalized back out just a little bit.
I wonder if as the tires wear, it'll be easier to go quick up there.
Oh, here they go, though. Great run. Elwood's clear. David Weishart not so much. Still got a quarter panel full of Brad Slaughter near him.
Look at the run he gets mid-corner, though. The 8 car. And he's not on the bottom. He's in the middle. He was kind of running up the racetrack a little bit, letting the car kind of glide up. Wasn't kind of clinging it to that yellow line. It's just so bumpy down there by the apron.
I'm looking at Alex Weaver looking like he's tempted to make it 3 wide, either that or just kind of hang out in some fresher air. Subway machine.
That second pack isn't really leaving a lot of distance. I think they're kind of, I don't think they're giving up, but they're leaving a little bit of margin in case they have to jump on the brakes. There is Jake Nichols in that solar flare car, and look at the run that Bowie's got, and he's going to run down and pass 2 cars here in one corner.
He's holding the mail right now. He's doing 195, 197 through the corner. He's going to get a massive slipstream here to the front.
Lap 20 of 45. All clean and green except for that early incident of lap number 2.
You can see after that first incident, everyone calmed down quite a bit. They're just trying to learn the way this is drafting, and I think they realize now there's really not a whole lot of places to go. Or at least, there are places to go, but you don't want to wreck yourself too early on.
Beckner, Hartz, Newbegin kind of lingering at the back here, but this is going to continue to be spicy up front. Nobody's hanging back up here. Elwood has been strong, but whoa, big slide by the 62 again. Weaver's been really shaky on the exit of turn 4. Doesn't seem to like how that car is handling.
I was going to say there are a few drivers that are a little bit shaky as well. I think Cogswell, I was looking at the 27. He was looking a little bit loose off of some of these corners.
Lane change, 8 to the top.
And 21 coming with them. So both of them going to the top lane. It leaves Alex Weaver clear on the bottom. Interesting stuff. And Brandon Bowie now, you saw him hanging back a few laps ago. Now has a chance to challenge for the lead. Elwood going through the middle.
He's not waiting around. He didn't like those 2 jumping to the top. He wants back by. The 8 leaves the 21 to block the middle lane. See ya, Eric Wineland. He's going backwards.
Got caught out, and now he's going to be drifting slowly on backwards.
Ooh, watch this mid-corner. No, they're going to stack up there as Weishart jumps to the outside. Elwood back to the bottom. The 8 car tries to cover. He gets there in time.
Small in a lead. Now Weishart's got Skyley from in behind. Slaughter tried to jump to the top side but couldn't block, and now he's getting split. 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, watch the push there. The 10 car on the bottom of the racetrack almost got up into the 8. And now what can Brad Slaughter Jr. do? He has looked so fast, and he's been one of the quickest drivers tonight, but now he's stuck in the middle, and now the 10 losing momentum.
Yeah, he's got no one in behind to help him. He's just purely relying on the side draft to keep him up to speed until that bottom lane catches back up. But meanwhile, Skyley and Weishart are clear. Here's see if they're going to do anything to block. You see, look at Brad Slaughter using the side draft to his advantage.
Oh, the 21's in the wall out of turn 4. He bounced off it. Here comes Nichols. He didn't want any part of that. Weishart leads his first lap.
Actually, oh yeah, sorry, never mind.
Look at the 10, slicing and dicing to the top side, and here comes Nichols. Wow.
73 of Nichols diving through there as well, following him on through. He's now up to 3rd, getting a great run off the corner. Ooh, Weishart clipping the bottom, is going to lose some momentum.
Yeah, he got on the apron there. It's going to slow him up just a little bit. The 62 stuck in behind. Look at the 7 is Scioli to the bottom. Nobody went with them.
You know, he went with them. I think he's going to try to use the slipstream, get to the inside. He gets cut off by the 10.
Halfway this time by.
Ooh, Elwood with the block, though, up on the 73 of Nichols. And Nichols now looking to the outside. Barely enough room for a lane. 3 wide at the stripe.
Who led that lap?
It was Skyley by 0.03 of a second.
The 10 cars in the middle. Look out. The 21 spins. And the 10's in the wall. There's a big crash there.
Yeah, almost big one.
Alan Elwood's car is junk. Second caution of the night, this time for an incident at turn number 1. Here's what happened. It's middle 3 wide here, and then right there, the 8 gets into him. Oh.
Yeah, that's a hard lick.
Right here, the 8 pushes up, gets into the 10, gets the back of the 21. Right there, snaps back right in front of the 88 of Anna Sogak, who does a little Tony Hawk skater move there with the quarter panel on the fence.
Oh, and Beckner also got turned around on that. Where's he got the ball? See a little tap from the 8, enough to set off the chain reaction.
And then you saw Beckner in the background here. Here's what happened to him.
You're going to see in behind Douglas Newbicking. It's following the 28. Everyone checking up, get the scoop, and turn around.
Actually, I wonder if that even helped him because he was about to drive into the back of the guy in front of him. So he might have actually had front end damage, which I would argue is a lot worse. So we'll take that battered Toyota Corolla and bring it back around. Caution, lap 25, EOL to the 8 car for incident responsibility. See if we can talk to David Weishart real quick and chat with him. David Weishart currently runs in 2nd. David Weishart heading down a pit lane. How's things going for you so far?
Oh man, I'm just hanging in there. It's fun though. Can't really push in these cars, so you can't really have an over-aggressive push unless you just absolutely try to. So just kind of minding my own business there, trying to get to the end, and hopefully we can get there.
Yeah, it's interesting watching because this car, again, has kind of old school drafting dynamics, but we were talking about the side draft. This is something that was kind of learned after this style of racing. How much has that been a factor tonight, drivers using newer techniques on an older draft model?
It's interesting. I like this side draft better than the next gen side draft. I feel like the next gen side draft to me is just a little bit overpowered. This one seems to be kind of like right on the money. You can pull somebody back, but it's not a drastic, like, you don't lose as much momentum, because I remember last year in the, I think it was Talladega last season, me and Jacob were, had a huge run going to the lead and got side drafted, and we went from 1st and 2nd to 17th and 18th just in the course of the backstretch. So it's a lot of fun to play with it. Like I said, you can get an advantage that way, but you don't lose too much if it happens to you.
David Weishart entered pit lane 2nd. You'll restart 3rd, David. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
So Weishart will line up on the inside of row number 2 for the restart here in a couple of minutes. As for a couple things we got to get through tonight, fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all area broadcasts commercial free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat and earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise. And top right of the screen is some new partners and people that are making things happen. Shop.areairacing.com. Fans, be sure to check out shop.areairacing.com for merchandise to represent your favorite drivers and teams. Shop from our brand new selections of champion t-shirts, jackets, hats, and more. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. That's shop.areairacing.com. And our replay partner tonight, Sim Wrap Market. Fans, be sure to check out simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack.
Yeah, I definitely agree with David about the side draft. With the next gen, when you side draft someone, so you're putting air brakes up on an airplane, it slows the car so much. Here it stalls it a little bit, but you don't completely kill the run of the other driver. I think I agree with him. They had a good match. It was a good parity with that in this car.
Restart with 18 laps to go. It'll be about 12 minutes worth of racing. That's how close we are to the checkered here tonight. This is the preseason shootout for the start of our season. I believe on April 10th is our first event. So drivers getting ready to go again here. One driver out of the race, Alan Elwood. That damage was terminal. Such a strong run for that number 10 car tonight. And as far as his performance, he did lead only 4 laps, but he ran up front in that top 5 pretty much since the drop of the green flag.
Now, the rest of the drivers will continue on without him. Justin has Sogak significant damage to his car. He's a lap down. He's probably going to be off pace. So, pretty much got 12 competitive cars left in the going here with under 20 laps to go. Do we think the aggression is going to kick up just a little bit here? I think we're going to see a little bit of a lull before the final few laps.
Yes. I think
Good answer.
It's going to be moments, I think. Pace truck's off, signaling the return of the green flag to the hands of the starter. Started with 14, 13 remain. Green flag back in the air in the Area iRacing preseason shootout. Brandon 6, a strong start. Scioli to the outside.
And Scioli trying to build up a run here. You got Brandon Bowie in behind. This is the tough part, though, getting up to speed. And you can't really get up to the guy in behind. You have to be careful. These guys have been careful for the most part ever since that first caution about giving bumps after getting a run. Just got to get just a little bit of a nudge. Don't want to go underneath the car in front.
Bowie just giving us slightest of touches to the back of the number 7 of Scioli and launch him forward here. Nice even pairs into turn 3. The thing is, there's so much chaos that I think this is a little squeeze there from Cogswell. There's so much chaos that this is back to the days of you could pass on the last lap. You didn't have to necessarily build a run. You could just do it all in one corner.
I was just about to say, with this draft model, when are we going to see those fast? When is it going to be time for these guys to go?
Yes. Also, I mean, it's such a revolving door. I think the only thing that you can be certain of is that it's going to be uncertain. So I don't think that being in a particular spot you're safe anywhere. I think you should just constantly try to stay up front. You're not going to stay there, but I also think that you could lead this race on the white flag and get back to the checkered. You could also come from 8th and win on the checkered. So it's just going to be a lot. So be ready for anything.
Golly with a decent lead up on the top side. Brandon Bowie with a small bit of a push with Hartz and Wineland backing him on that top lane. 6-6 and Brandon 6 struggling to get anything going forward, starting to lose ground. David Wise running behind him.
A little bit more tentative on the pack formation side, it looks like, for the time being. But Scioli edging ahead down the back straightaway. The 66, as you mentioned, not getting as big of a run. And Beckner, remember, he was involved in that most recent caution. He's lingering back there. 12th place, but up back to speed. So we'll see. He's been pretty quiet since that first incident on lap 2. I'm sure we're not done with Beckner or the 8 of Brad Slaughter Jr. yet.
Whoa! Cogswell.
That was close.
Clipped the apron and got sent flying up the racetrack.
Watch this.
And right there, that bump. You saw the spark too as well when the car hit the ground.
Brandon Zix edging ahead. Onto the back straightaway now, the Daytona super stretch.
You can see the outside lane just getting a little bit of a better run. Curious when we're going to sort of see more guys make a 3-wide move, because we've definitely seen 3-wide can work.
We've seen 3-wide can work. I think we've seen that 3-wide or even 2-wide doesn't work if you're pushing and shoving a lot, which I think we're about to start seeing a lot more of as these laps wind down. 15, now 14 laps to go. The 23 of Bowie. He was up front. Remember, he got turned around in that earlier incident, but he is back kind of in his consistent second place on the outside lane position that he's been in since.
Yeah, and really not a whole lot of damage to that car, just a little bit of damage on the right rear quarter. But otherwise, racing and running fine. In mind, that number 7. Speaking of third lane, Brian Hart's trying to look to the inside. Wineland was trying to follow him through. Now is getting cut off. Slaughter wants the outside.
Yeah, Brad Slaughter Jr. is way too aggressive to just sit around. He's going to try to charge his way back through the field. Here he is, 4th in the outside lane now, and he's going to go places. That 8 car has led, I think he's led more laps than anybody else. 14, that has to be true. But Wineland, blocking the progress.
Makes you make me cringe a little bit every time you see these guys go through line in the corner. It's so tight, and these cars are so on edge.
Lots of the, as the V8 Supercar announcers go, whoa! Lots of, whoa!
Wineland looking aggressive here on the back straightaway, looking to the middle again.
Yeah, he's just trying to get
I'm
people.
not sure he's trying to go by himself or try to get Ryan to go with him.
I think he's just trying to spook people and try to activate their spotter, and then once they hear that, they'll give you a little extra space. But wants to be smart about it too. 12 laps to go.
Riding information here. All 12 of the competitor cars still near the front, and mostly in this pack.
There's so much sideways movement in the corners. You don't really get a good perspective from the TV shots, but the onboards tell the story, how much these drivers are working. And look at the 29 of Weishart up the middle.
Weiser decided he had enough, wants to get ahead of the 66 and lead the inside run. He's not going to get by, though. He's going to get stalled out very hard, and Brandon Bowie taking advantage, going to go to down to the low side to the inside of Scioli.
Yeah, Bowie caught.
And Scioli now holding him up.
Yeah, Bowie caught Scioli sleeping there in turn 3. But Scioli's going to get help from Weishart now. That's a dangerous pairing to have packed up and paired up on the outside lane.
Wineland ducking in behind, trying to push these two guys near the front, see if he can get clear of the 23 and make a move himself.
Bowie's got help from the 66 now on the bottom, and Scioli didn't get down there to block. And the 8 car is
up.
Whoa, wow. Weishart is not waiting around for anybody. Up the middle again.
And look at that run. Fantastic move. Is going to get by the 7 before they even get to turn 3. Wineland now, second car on the outside.
And the 7 car just see ya. We'll have to try that all over again.
Gonna grip all the way to the back. Whoa, as Weiser gets a bit of a bump
and the
off
8.
the corner from Wineland.
8's looking middle. He tried. Wineland didn't give it to him.
I was gonna say,
trouble. The 3 car gets turned. Hart's around and the 62's involved.
And caution out again.
Looks like those drivers should get away with what looks to be minimal damage. The 3's got some left front. Let's see how it all happened here.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't from somewhere out near the front. You're going to see here a bit of a checkup. 7 just clips the right rear of the 3, and around he goes into Weaver.
Yeah, just the slightest of touches. And not much Weaver could have done at that stage. And it looks like that'll be an EOL for the number 7 regardless. That's how quickly you go from being in it to out of it.
As we're talking about, these cars are so on edge that just a little bit of a tap sends you around.
So this is going to set us up for probably a 6-lap run to the end, maybe 5.
Yeah, well, it's 65 lap run. I think that's a sweet spot. Just enough time to get these cars up to speed.
Do you pit?
I don't think so. I think we only had, I think, what, 20? Oh, not even 20. These guys came in 11 laps ago. I wouldn't. Unless you have a particular person you want to work with in mind. But that being said, this package, you don't really need someone to work with. So I would say the only reason maybe pit is maybe if you feel there's going to be a wreck before we get the white flag, and you don't want to be involved. But again, there's no point, so you might as well go for it.
I just think that there's probably a handling component in here, so I think. Oh well, looks like Skyler's going to lead some down.
If we went like 30 laps, I would agree with you. But I think with the amount of time we put on these tires, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. But like you said, everyone from James Scully on back coming down to pit lane. I think a lot of these guys are definitely fixing up some damage.
Yeah, Skyler's got some on the right side I didn't notice before, but this might have been from an earlier incident.
No, it's from the same one. He clipped the wall a little bit after he was going right, tagged the wall near the end of that incident.
And a Sogak also. The damage on that car. That looks like a mid to deep field ARCA car for sure.
Well, luckily for him, he's going to get the lucky dog go around. Or I guess lucky duck.
I was going to say.
But I missed it. Remember it was the Aaron's lucky dog? That was a great sponsor deal.
It was.
I was going to say they continue to call it the lucky dog after that, pretty much because of that sponsorship, right?
Yeah. I mean,
the whole reason it was called the lucky dog was
because of the Aaron's thing. Yeah.
Does it still exist?
What? Aaron's? I don't know. That's a great question.
Just thought about that.
Furniture company. It sure does.
They sell the dog.
Did they sell the dog? Oh, it's been a long time in dog years, unfortunately. And gopher years, too. We haven't seen Digger in a while.
Oh, no. I do not like the new design.
Hey, fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. You can use discount code AREAIRACING for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. And be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series. So you will take home that $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings.
I looked up the Aaron's dog. I ended up finding some interesting art on DeviantArt.
Oh no, Finney.
I just put in Google and then this came up. I'm like, why? All right. Anyway. We're gonna come back to green here with 6 laps to go. Everyone getting back up to speed. Ryan Hartz. Interested in seeing Ryan Hartz's car and Alex Weaver. I don't think they should have any long-lasting damage.
Yeah, I think they're going to be okay. I think new damage model, they should be all right, provided the front end isn't smashed in. I think the 88 and then a Sogak is probably not going to be right full song, but I think you could have expected that. So we'll see how it goes, but I think I'm putting my money on the number 8 car to win this race. The aggression I have seen out of him and the moves he's been able to make. If the 10 car was still in the race, he'd have to pick Elwood. He's just so slippery in that number 10, but with him out, I think I'm going to take the 8.
I'm going to go with the 29. David Weishart, he seems to be pretty good. Once he's up near the front of the field, can have some decent control of the pack, and I think that's going to take, you're going to need that in order to take this victory here. A little bit of pack control. You can't obviously be as aggressive as you would be in the newer cars, sliding from one side of the race to the other, but figuring out where the runs are building up and trying to cut them off is going to be key to winning this race here. We'll see what they can do here.
Field is packed up once again, maybe for the final time. Pace truck's going to make the hard left onto pit lane, and here we go, the area preseason shootout. Hold those triggers, boys. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 6 laps to go.
Great start from the 66 of Brandon 6 trying to give a bump to the 29 of Weishart. Wyland trying to do the same on the bottom with the 23. So we're getting back up to speed.
Yeah, dead heat right now. A little bit of damage to the back of the 23. I wonder if that'll make it harder for Wineland to push. Although we haven't really seen anyone be able to effectively bump draft in these cars, really at all tonight, using the air.
Obviously, they probably are going to start using the bumper here. The laps are winding down. The aggression is going to start to kick up. Speaking of which, 62. Alex Weaver already looking at the top side.
And look at the 7 coming back from his penalty. A little bit of contact there, the 27 and the 8 into turn 3, and everybody kind of scatters. Like turning on the lights with the roaches running around the kitchen.
Door-to-door contact in the middle of the straightaway.
5 laps to go from Daytona. Ooh, the 21 had a big slide there in the tri-oval.
And big slide while he was on the back bumper of the 23. Weiser getting a great run into turn 1, hooked up with the 66.
Now it's go time. The 66, where do you go? Was he going to go split 3? No, the 23 bounces off of everybody, and they scatter, and they're 3-4 wide now down the backstretch. And everybody looking for purchase and racing room.
Yeah, gave everyone a mini heart attack there. The 27 of Cogswell got a great run, had to stick in behind the 29. Oh, and there's Brad Slaughter, an aggressive move up the middle. Is going to get past a few guys and move himself up to the front. An aggressive block now. Bowie in 6 going to the top side.
Everybody fighting for that top side as they exit turn 4. It leaves the bottom open. Wineland's got clean air on the nose, but for how long? The 66 is going to get put middle. No, he doesn't. Now the 8's in the middle, 3 wide.
Here comes Jake Nichols pushing the 21 to the front of the field now as they all jumble up into turn 1.
It's like you need to have the whole field in the shot because everybody's skedaddling all over the racetrack, top to bottom, bottom to top. Look at the 8, the 21 now middle, the 73 on the bottom. That's Jake Nichols. He's got help from Travis Beckner. Where did he come from in the behind the orange and white car?
Stuck his way through the front, saw all the chaos unfold, and found the right place to be. And now we're 3x3 into turn 3.
Oh,
one small mistake is going to wreck the entire field.
They can't do this for that long. 21 out of turn 4. He's got the middle, pointing the ship. 3 laps to go.
Can they keep this up for 3 more laps? We'll see here because no driver wants to lift. All 12 of the guys in this pack have a shot at winning.
The 21 almost clear of the 73. He wants to hear that clear call from the spotter. He will not get it. The 8 gives him a shove mid-corner and bounces up the racetrack.
Ooh, 23 of Bowie got awfully close.
Oh, there we go.
Cogswell going flying at Alex Weaver down below. I don't think we're going to see a caution with all of them off the track.
Cogswell hard on the wall. Back up to the front, though. Nichols, Bowie.
Up and caution out.
Yellow flag. And everybody takes a breath. And we will go into overtime. Let's have a look at what happened on the back straightaway.
Again, I was genuinely surprised. It's always funny, you expect the wreck to be near the front. This one happened towards the back.
Newbegin and Cogswell, the 8 checks up. There's the check up, and the 27, just the slightest of touches. The 7 turns the 71 around. And then Cogswell's going to back into a concrete wall. That had to hurt. It just happened so fast and so easily.
This is just heard in the chat. If you ain't first, you're last.
Watch that 8 check up, and just right there is all it takes.
Little tap. Off they go.
This is going to... Ooh. All right. So we'll rack them up, stack them up, and go again. Overtime now. And as far as fuel goes, the 66 has been on track for 37 laps without a tank of fuel.
He's flirting with it. I would say we have enough. Well, I would imagine he would have pit, right? I don't see why he wouldn't pit if he was close to running out of gas. We're only going to have 1 attempt, so I assume he is good to go till the end. That'll be an interesting call if he didn't decide to pit, and he does run out of fuel. And everyone pretty much coming in to get the last touch-ups on their car, last damage repair.
Hey, this 29 car, fresh set of Goodyears on this thing. Keep an eye out.
Technically Hoosiers.
Okay, well, no, I mean, this is a Cup car. They're Goodyears now.
Oh, sorry, they're actually General Tire.
Are they though?
Yeah, they're still General Tire.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, they didn't put the.
Oh, they
branding.
did.
See how-
Oh, come on.
Yeah, because you see how it's white and it's still General Tire. I don't know why I said Hoosiers. Hoosiers are late models.
Hoosiers are what we used to use in grid life. But they're expensive. Everyone called them purple crack because you just couldn't stop buying them because they were so good. And they were like $400 a tire or something.
It is funny because I really don't think of Hoosiers as road racing tires. When I think of Hoosiers, I think Saturday night,
No, they're
late model.
a very good road racing tire actually.
I'm sure they are, but it's just their brand in my mind is purely just short track oval racing.
Yeah, they're as far as Grid Life Touring Cup goes, we switched to the street tire formula to hopefully kind of increase the or decrease the cost associated with a set of tires and increase the longevity. And
I think that's a good call.
some drivers figured out though that shaving the tread of the tire could gain you some more longevity and some more speed. That's hard to do. So some people are, well, you should go back to Hoosiers because the cost doesn't matter, but it does matter. We tire budget for GLTC in 2021 was about 12 grand. And it's about 5 grand for a season.
Wow.
Yep.
There you go. That's you can't argue with that. Cutting it over half.
Yep. And the next entry level professional touring car series, 5 grand is what you pay a weekend for 2 sets of tires. So
that is wild.
and that is just the tires.
That is wild.
Yep. And you can't even use old tires. They make you buy new ones.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can't use scuff tires, damn.
Only for practice. Racing is expensive, folks.
So not only you get to save the budget for the teams, but also environmentally friendly.
Yeah, go with that.
Somewhat environmental.
We are actually racing, so we have a new series that's joining us this year called Tesla something.
Oh.
And what they're doing essentially is because caging a car is a big commitment. So they're basically doing a mix between time attack and wheel-to-wheel racing. So the cars that are all going to be built to a spec, like spec damper, spec brakes, but they're all Tesla Model 3s. Model 3 Challenge is what it's called. And they're all Tesla Model 3s. And they're going to race. You basically go out nose to tail, and there's basically a buffer of a certain amount of time. And when you get within a certain buffer, you have to point the driver behind you by. So it's racing, but once you get to a certain distance, you have to let them go.
Gotcha.
And
well,
then
these guys aren't going to let anybody go here.
No, they're not.
We're going to get rowing.
Here we go. 2 laps to go. 5 miles left. This is our only overtime attempt, and we're back underway. 2 to go in the area. Preseason shootout. A great launch there by Nichols.
Yeah, arguably too good of a jump because guess who's going to reel him back in that 28 of Beckner.
Yeah, he won the championship last season by a handy margin. Could he kick off 2023 in the same way? Bowie's going to have a big shove here out of turn 2 with help from the 21, and Nichols could not get there to block.
Still building up speed on the back straightaway. Do we see anyone make a third lane immediately? I see someone in the background trying to make it work. I think that's that Brad Slaughter. It is.
Up the middle, here comes Slaughter with help from the 62, but you're running out of time, running out of laps. Running out of space on the racetrack. Where do you go?
Slaughter nowhere at the moment. He's kind of boxed in, has to get past the 7 of Skyler. Then he can try to look to the outside. Here we go, out of turn 4. Through the trioval. Here we go, white flag in the air.
This is it. Final lap. We have made it. Next driver back to the stripe wins this race. Checkers or wreckers. Here we go. The 8 car kicking out sideways. He's up to 3rd in that outside lane. Could he go with somebody? Will he take the 7 with him? Will he take the 3 to the front?
I'm curious which lane he's going to go. Is he going to go opposite or is he going to try to go through the middle again if that lane opens up, though?
He tried, but the 7 did not bite.
There he goes.
Now he goes. Here he goes to the outside. We're going to be 3 wide out of turn 4, folks. We're going to be 3 wide all the way through. Here comes Brad Slaughter Jr. up to the outside, 3 abreast. Bowie pushes forward, the 21 in the middle, though. They're going to crash.
And the wrecking again in behind them. Huge crash.
Up over on their lid. Nichols and Bowie battling to the stripes, side by side to the line. Here comes the 28 of Beckner. It's Nichols to the line.
And every single car in this pack has wrecked, I think, except David Weishart, but wow.
And that is how you finish a shootout.
By destroying every single car in the field. Tony Stewart will be proud.
turn them around and go the other way. We'll split half of them and go one. No. Oh, boy. Well, Nichols rolling backwards. He's your race winner after all that. Let's break that down and go back and watch the finish here. Yeah, so the 21 right here, the 8 and the 21 get together, the 7 and the 3 get together. That catches Newbegin. The 7 went airborne. And then this epic battle to the stripe, a little bit of side drafting here. 28 goes to the bottom, collects Bowie. Bowie comes home in second by 2 thousandths over the third place car, which was Brandon 6. And let's go back and have a look at what that margin looked like. I mean, I would have told you the 66 finished second, but they have it the other way around.
You have 3 cars finishing, and they had a 90-degree angle to the finish line.
What direction does the track go, guys? I can't certainly tell. Let's go back.
It's a 3-2 vote there.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the 7 of Scioli. I think he's going to just touch the 8 right there, gets him into the 21.
Yeah.
And then right here, he's going to get caught up with the 3 and then gets sent up and over. And Wineland just kind of ramped him.
I mean, he is the Air Force. And up and over the 7 goes.
Reminds me a lot of Jeff Gordon's crash here when he skidded on his 8 pillar for a mile.
I remember that.
Wineland on board.
It's ping pong.
See ya.
It's one car. It's not the car.
Keep your foot to the floor. And after all that, your winner is Jake Nichols. All right, let's have a look at your race results here from Daytona. Jake Nichols gets it done by 500ths over Brandon Bowie. Brandon 6. Then it's Beckner, Weaver, Weishart, and Asogak, Wineland, Newbegin, and Hartz. The rest of your top 10, Finian.
I was going to say, and it's not like even like Nichols dominated this race. You know, we were usually expecting to win, but he barely led any laps, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't really in the front a whole lot. He was near the front quite a bit, but never in that first position. There you go, only 5 laps.
Led 5 laps, and that's all he needed to get the job done. And the rest of your running order 11 through 14. Slaughter Jr. comes home P11. Had a run going there. Might have won the race if things happened a little bit different, but they did not happen the way that he needed them to happen. So let's go back and talk to Jake Nichols, your race winner in this one. Jake, starting off 2023 the right way as you finished 2022's season. This was a dramatic ending. You led 5 laps. Take us through the last couple moments of this one.
Well, it was interesting. It was kind of chaotic, but not at the same time. It's hard to push these cars, so I didn't really practice that much, so I had to try to do what I could, and I didn't want to wreck Brandon there. So I was hoping Travis and I could just hook up on the bottom and stay in the lead, but we lost it. I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I was confident with Travis pushing me. He could lay into me all he wanted down the straightaways, and I never even felt like I could feel him lifting the rear wheels off the ground, but I never really got loose or anything or out of control. I still felt like I had a handle on it. So I wanted him behind me if we got to that situation where I needed a pusher. Even though we got out of turn 4 and he wasn't quite on my bumper, but we got a big run because of the wreck behind us. And then everything worked to my favor there. I think Brandon got hooked by him or something happened on the bottom. I haven't looked at it, but man, it's great to be in victory lane here. We didn't do that much of racing back and forth. We were kind of just playing the field a little bit, seeing what kind of runs we could gather throughout the race, just in case we needed to be in that situation at the end. But great to be in victory lane and the first time back in my good old 73 and first time in a Chevy here in the area. So hopefully we see more of that this season and in Cup Series.
Jake Nichols gets it done. Congrats, Jake. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And second place was Brandon Bowie in the number 23 car. Was leading almost to the end, came out at turn 4, leading the way with cars piling up in the mirror, but the drag race to the line came across skidding sideways, Brennan. P2 tonight by 0.02 of a second. Take us through it.
Yeah, that I've got a lot of P2s in this league. I would like a win at least once. But yeah, it was got turned early in the run in the race and was just like, well, I guess I'll just hang out in the back for a little while and kind of to see how things shake out. And got halfway and I was like, well, it's game on now. So went to the front. I was trying to see, who seemed like they could push pretty good, and who was the guy. So I was a little skeptical on. I had my teammate in the 66, work with me as well. So, things worked out, and was able to get to the front. And man, it's as I play it back in my head, there's a couple different things I could have done probably different than maybe hold on to the win. But I think blocking the 73, I probably would have got turned, and possibly blocking the 28, I probably would have got turned as well. But either way, I had a great time. I had fun. Unfortunately, I won't be able to run the Cup Series full time this year, but man, it's fun racing with these guys though.
A lot of fun to watch, Brennan. Hey, congratulations. So close. We're leading up until about 50 yards from the start-finish line. So best luck to you next time, Brennan. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks. And just want to give a shout out to my sponsor as well, Velocita. Check them out on their website, and you can use the promo code of I lost my train of thought. Promo code of shop 10% Velocita there, and you can get some free merch.
I definitely did not say Velocita earlier or anything of the sort, Brandon. Looks forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks for chatting.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, we got Brandon 6, who came home in third place by 2,000ths of a second. Brandon, if you ask me, by looking at the start-finish line and the photo finish there, it looked like you actually got there second, but timing and scoring has it third for you by 2,000ths. So maybe Brandon had a finger. The other Brandon had a finger in front, but really exciting finish and almost had it. Take us through it.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild race. I was actually pretty shocked to get to that position. I think I was like 8th or 9th going into the white flag lap, and Steve kind of parted there when that wreck happened, and then had a big run there coming out of 4. Thought I might get there with a bigger run, but unfortunately I wasn't going to get there unless something crazy happened. They all wrecked, but it needed to happen a lot sooner.
Well, it was fun to watch, Brandon, so congratulations on that. What are we going to expect to see in this season in terms of the different series here in area?
Yeah, hopefully I bring out a good, strong showing in the Cup Series for the season. I tend to do pretty well in that car, especially now that they kind of fixed some of the tire a little bit, so I expect to be pretty good.
Okay, Brandon, congratulations. We'll see you next time. Best of luck to you.
Yep, thank you guys.
And we got one more. We'll chat with Travis Beckner real quick. Travis finished in this race in 4th. Almost had P3, though, there at the stripe. Travis, kind of a shaky start there, but once things got rolling and he started kind of battling up there in the mix, following the 73 back to the stripe, what could you have done different on that final lap?
Well, first off, I wasn't expected to be pulled up here.
Oh, I saw you there. I thought we'd chat. Why not?
Yeah, that was crazy. I had a blast there with Jake. He's like, don't lift. If you wreck me, you wreck me. It's just an expedition race. I was like, okay, well, careful what you wish for, because what happened earlier with Ryan. But I tell you what, Toyota Corolla power here tonight.
Woo! I have a Corolla, Travis, so I'm on board.
Yeah, but yeah, after the first wreck, because this is my first time ever racing in this car, and when I turned hearts there, I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad. And then after that, I just sat in the back until the last restart.
Well, sat in the back until the last restart, but you didn't sit in the back there at the stripe. 4th place, almost there, Travis. Congratulations. We'll see you this season. Excited to watch you again.
Yeah, thank you. Before I go, I'd like to thank Collier Cutters Landscaping, Henry County Motorsports Park. Hang on, I gotta pull this up. I forgot. Thompson Pipe Group, and y'all take a time out of your day to come do this, and everybody that watched tonight.
Appreciate it.
And I'll see y'all on Monday, hopefully.
We'll see y'all there, Travis.
Yeah.
All right, Finny, wrapping things up here from Daytona. That was a fun one. Preseason shootout ending in spectacular display of fire and sparks and smoke and cars turned upside down. We always see that here at Daytona, Finny, but this is great. More of this.
Yeah, definitely more of this. Is some great racing. You can tell everyone out there had some fun tonight. Nice little preseason action to get everyone up to speed before we head off to the big race next week.
We'll see you there Monday on Sim TV. Kyle Heyer, Finny DeCuna bringing you the action. Thanks for watching the Area Preseason Shootout. We'll see you for the season.